Kids, good evening. Today this video is going to be called Inspired. So here's the premise of this. I had an inspirational moment today and I wanted to share it with you, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. So this is how it goes. I woke up this morning after watching all week the RNC convention and waiting to see what the headlines had to offer compared to what I heard and what I saw. And there wasn't really much. I mean, nothing that was unexpected. Republicans thought it was marvelous. They were denying that anybody lied, blah, blah, blah. Democrats were relatively horrified, and everybody in between was kind of still sleeping and didn't even give a shit. But I also noticed on my Facebook page, on my news, like the wall, that a few more of my friends now have hit the like button for Mitt Romney. And so instead of being hyper-partisan or close-minded or something like that, I always try to be very thoughtful. And I really try to look at both sides of everything. And some people accuse me of thinking a little bit too much, or actually way too much, about everything. Even though I'm nuts and I don't really think, I just kind of exist. But I digress. So I decided to try an experiment today. I decided not to medicate this morning. And I decided to go out and put my body under a lot of extreme stress outside in the heat of Florida in bright sunshine, and sweat through 3 or 4 t-shirts and do lots of physical exercise and get things done outside. So without medication, which could have led to a stroke, which I kind of had hoped, but instead it allowed me to escape the surly bonds of my medication, allow me to hallucinate freely and think in ways I normally don't think. So I tried to dwell on the inspiration of how I would feel, or how I could be inspired by this candidate Mitt Romney and his words. So I remember the speech, and I remember his wanting 5 wars and not worrying that he's going to take care of everybody and balance the budget and everything. I mean, it's just remarkable. So when I was out there, I was trying to say, okay, well, if I'm really for this guy, what do I have to lose? I mean, he already promised to take care of the elderly, the sick, the disabled, everybody. So that leaves me totally taken care of. And as far as 5 wars go, I'm too old to go to war, and I'm far too crazy. So they wouldn't take me if they wanted to. So I really have nothing to lose in this game. And since I don't make much money, taxes really don't matter to me at all anymore. So what do I have to lose by voting for Mitt Romney? But then I thought to myself, are these people that are voting for Mitt Romney, and especially a couple of my friends, are parents of children that are or will be military age? And are they willing to send their kids off to these 5 wars that he wants to start? Or continue, or whatever. And I wonder if that ever dawned on them, or what was it that was the inspiration. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I just take this leap of faith and just vote for Mitt, and then let these people have their dreams of watching their children be slaughtered? Because I don't have any children to be slaughtered. So it would be perfectly fine for me if we just ran amok. And then when I got in the house afterwards, I looked up a few things. I was like, how can these people, how can Mitt himself vomit up all this stuff like this magic budget like that is going to balance by doing 5 wars, and he's going to pay for everybody and take care of everybody, and he's not going to raise taxes. How's that going to happen? So I looked up a couple of things. Now, first of all, if you paid really close attention, his aides repeated several times this week that Mitt Romney's presidential dream, he wants to be like President Polk. That's the 11th president of the United States. So I looked up President Polk today and I read all about him. And I can see why Mitt Romney would want to start 5 wars. President Polk was very much an expansionist. And obviously that's what Mitt Romney wants to do. He wants to expand the United States and its influence, which is great. We can just invade the whole world. And then I was thinking, I remember that Mitt Romney is Mormon. And I'd heard something, this snide remark about magic underwear. So I typed in that in Google, and I learned about the magic underwear of the Mormons, which is basically what they call temple garments, which is basically underwear. And it supposedly, in lore, has magical properties like protection from evil and keeps you safe from car accidents and all kinds of stuff. But it's also worn to keep you constantly reminded of your dedication to the church. So it's kind of like a tattoo, but it's something you can take off and wash. But then you have to put it right back on, which is cool. And I thought, well, maybe Mitt's magic underwear, or maybe Mitt's going to hand out magic underwear to all of us so that the budget will balance and we will be able to fight 5 wars and everything will be Shangri-La under his administration, and maybe all we need are temple garments. So I'm willing to take a risk. What about you? Tell me what you think. After I came to this epiphany, then I took my medication. So I'm starting to balance out. In the meantime, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Talk to you later.